Oh boy. Let's get ready to go, boys. Chick talk time. Hey, welcome to the stream. I'm recording some Chick Talks. I haven't done it in forever. It should be fun. I downloaded them all and I got them all set up. I got a new system here. It should work well. It should work well. Got 160 of them. I'm going to go through, I don't know, like as many as I can get through in like an hour or two here. So here's ready for nothing. I'm going to warn you right now. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, all that stuff. My girl sends me TikToks because she's always on the damn thing. Now, sometimes they're good. I make an entire red pilled coffee video. Check out the playlist on the channel. Other times, they're absolute dog shit. And for those, I bring them here. Lately, though, a lot of you guys have been on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, and you're sending me TikToks. So this is the collection of the TikToks you guys are sending me. And if you thought they were horrible before, oh, wait till you see these ones. Here, let me start with this one. You're gonna, I mean, you're not gonna love it, but you're gonna love it.
That's you making fun of people who are new to the gym. Here's you screaming about 400.
Up, get it up, up, up.
And there's someone significantly lighter and significantly younger than you warming up with it. Be nicer, bro.
All right, not gonna lie. I got a chuckle out of that one. He had to be the most goth-looking, emo, Netflix, like Sabrina the Teenage Witch thing ever. And it's just funny because he looks like kind of a wimp. Meanwhile, you got this big black guy getting there and like, I hate dudes at the gym. And he's like, hey, bro, how's it going? Then just starts deadlifting 400 pounds to flex. I'm like, good on you, sir. Good on you. Yeah, it's a wee, but boy can lift. Boy can lift. Now, I want you to pay attention to the theme here. I have a lot of wham and ain't shit Chick Talks. The stuff you guys are sending me, I don't understand it, but it doesn't fit the theme. So this is officially going to be the worst Chick Talk live stream that exists. So I want you guys to know this right now while you're coming into this one.
Diet Coke is one of the worst things that you can put in your body. In fact, it's actually way worse than normal Coca-Cola.
One of the worst things you could put in your body. Cocaine, MDMA, ketamine.
And I'm going to tell you right now because I get it. It has 0 calories, 0 sugar, but it has something much more harmful. Aspartame.
Aspartame, aspartame.
Which is an artificial sweetener that's actually banned in many countries outside of the US. And the reason it's banned is because this chemical compound actually...
We'll stop you there, mate. We'll stop you there. I could do what a lot of people do on TikTok and pull up all these studies and evidence and PubMed codes that no one's going to check. But I'm just going to tell you this. Aspartame, or aspartame, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, is harmless. Harmless. Artificial sweeteners, harmless. But water's better. If they wanted a glass of water, they wouldn't have had Coke in the fucking first place, would they? I'm sure that a bowl of fucking carrots is better than low-calorie ice cream, but they fancied some fucking ice cream. So be careful listening to blokes like this. Human beings have a tendency to believe other human beings that say things in an assertive way. That's why we have some people that believe the world is flat. Yes, flat earthers, which is mad. Oh, and to any of you flat earthers that are watching this, all right? You know, like the moon, and like the sun, and like Jupiter, spherical, mad. Take a fucking hint. See you tomorrow.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Thank God aspartame is safe. Okay, so you guys, well, guy who sent this one to me is like, look, this guy does what you do. He hates bullshit. And I'm like, hey, it's nice. He's the fitness bullshit guy. Aspartame, though. Has anybody ever pronounced it? What did he do? He gronked it with aspartame. It's aspartame, right? Like, I'm not stupid. Am I stupid? I don't even know. So yeah, this is the one you're sending me. It's like, hey, don't worry. You're not the only guy out here talking mad trash against goofballs who don't know what they're doing. And they hate other grifters. I'm like, I think I've found a brother. Is this what it's... Where's that when Milhouse says? Like, is this what it's like when doves cry? Maybe. Maybe. All right, enough dudes. This has been a complete sausage party, I think. I think I got a good one here. Screwed it up again. Oh, wait, I gotta get... Attempt number 2. Professional. We did it, boys. We got him. Dude, I love these ones. I swear to God. I swear to God. Every guy I've ever known had, like, at college or whatever, had like 5 roommates. And so they know all like the roommate stuff, how to get along, how to handle conflict, stuff like that. Girls, for some reason, just don't. So then when you get into like a relationship and you live together and you're doing stuff, girls start pulling the same, and it's the same stuff. Like, look, 2 points. 1, frame. If somebody's giving you grief, know your worth, so you don't put up with that shit. 2, girls don't have the self-awareness to know. Most guys don't either, but you do, because you guys are switched on. Where, like, I see every time I do the dishes, but I only see half the times you do the dishes. Now, as a guy, you're looking at this thinking, well, that must mean I'm not catching every time they get done. So that's cool. I'm going to go play Call of Duty. Well, you're not saying that anymore, but you used to. And the girls are like, well, that must mean if I didn't see it, it didn't happen. Therefore, you're a layabout, you're a scumbag, and you need to do more chores. And maybe if I was more comfortable, I'd have sex with you more. Yeah, it got real dark. So this one had like the, I'm going to get him good, you mark it on a chart. She had the literal chore chart. The only thing is, though, she didn't quite escalate it to, you see that one that's floating around where the girl's like, blowjob is like clean the fridge, and doing the floors means in the pooper or whatever. And she talks out of, and she has like a headache for all that stuff anyway, so the guy doesn't get it. But she like dangles the poon in front of him for like hope. And she's like, here you go, and yoink. Like Lucy with the football, except for the football is them sweet walls. But this one's like, I got him now. And then lo and behold, she's like, shit, I just realized I got a good man and I've been complaining and bitching this whole time. Wonder what I should do about this. Maybe I should have a revelation. Maybe I should treat him better. Maybe I should blow him. And she's like, no, I got it. I'm going to farm this out for clout. You got to farm this out for clout. You son of a bitch. All right. Let's move on.
When I first met my boyfriend, he looked like this. Then he met me, and I cook like this. Now he looks like this.
Dude, I have been telling you guys this. I've been telling you this for years. Chicks are evil. Evil. Women are evil. Okay, they all do this. And it's like got a weird, like the girl brain goes through there. I'll walk you through the process. So a girl finds a guy. He's like super hot. He's great. He's good looking. Whatever. Cholo. I think cholo's the good thing, isn't it? Or is it like a racist slur? Maybe not. Don't go with that. Just call him dude. Anyways. So like you get the guy. He's super hot. And then the first thing the girl thinks is like, fuck. Other girls are totally going to sleep with him. They may, but she believes that. And then she starts getting stressed. She's like, he's going to sleep with another man. Sleep with a woman. He's going to sleep with another woman. So what does she do? And she also loves him though. And she feels really good. So she's like, I got the solution. I am going to bake churros every day because I love him so much. And if it just so happens to make him unfuckable to the other sex, then so much the better. And then the more she fattens him up, and of course he's like, oh, dude, my woman loves me, and look at all this great stuff she did. Why wouldn't I eat the churros? She made me churros. She made me avocado toast. I would have to be rude. She's the woman I love. Why wouldn't I let her fatten me up? And then he's like, hey, I only got eyes for you, baby, because none of the girls want this. And then she's happy, and she's happy, and he's happy, and they're eating churros again. And then all of a sudden one day she's like, I got a headache tonight, honey. I don't want to. And then you realize it's like, that's motherfucker. She's tricked me. They do this. It's a mate retention strategy. And you're going to notice that, let's say you're that guy, and then you look in the mirror one day and it's like, Jesus, I had too many churros. I feel like a fat tub of shit. So you go to the gym, you start cutting weight, You start eating protein shakes all day, or drinking protein shakes all day, or eating them. I don't know. Do what you do. And then the girl's looking at you. She's like, "Oh, that's great. He's gonna get into shape. He's gonna look real hot." And then that little fucking goblin comes back up. It's like, "Hey, just so you know, he's gonna do your sister when you're not looking." And she's like, "Oh fuck." And so they'll start sabotaging your diet, or when you want to go to the gym, all of a sudden they get really clingy and want to cuddle all day and all this weird sabotaging shit. And I'm here to tell you, fellas, just like gloss over it. Like, put a little bit of hate in your heart for that woman. It's like, dude, you and your choros are the devil. Get away from me, devil woman, and you go do your thing. You know when those guys on the YouTube tell you like, "Hey, you gotta work out for you, sir." They're right, because if you work out for her, she's gonna give you choros. And I'm churros. I don't know. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. It's tricky. You don't like it. How many more times did I actually pronounce that right? I got like 0 Hispanic trill at all. Anyways, let's watch another one of these broads. There is no way you've never lived with a girl and not known this. Actually, a lot of guys don't know this. I actually have to tell guys about this. I'm like, dude, oh, my girlfriend she's horrible, she's moody, and one day she just came home, started yelling, and they always think like when she's talking, then I got to listen to the words and respond to the words, because good communication, that's what Dr. Oz or Dr. Phil or Andrew Tate told me to do, so that's what I need to do. And then I do it and she hates me. I don't get it. And then they don't realize, it's like, dude, here's the thing. Take a deep breath, count to 30. I'm like, what do you mean count to 30? I'm like, start with like the day that she gets her period. Make that 1. Count to 30. Okay. Now, when she picks a fight with you or yells at you or whatever, like, remember that number. All right, so is it like 14? And everybody's like, oh, it's the estrus cycle thing. You're like, yeah, but look, here's the thing that everybody gets wrong, is that they think all girls are like bitchy on day 3, sexual on day 10, and whatever on day. It's not like that. Every girl is different, but every girl is consistently different. So like if you find she's always bitching you out on day 7, then you can plan for that. So when day 6 comes by and you're like, oh, doing your thing, and she comes in, it's like, hey, bitch. And you're like, oh, check your clock. It's day 7. This ain't about me. You can even mention that. She's like, hey, you're an asshole, blah, blah, blah. You're like, it's day 7, babe. Relax. You think it's about this? No, it's serious. And then the more she complains, the more she laughs, because it's like, now don't make this into a spreadsheet and show it to her. It's like mental napkin math. Just keep it in your head and realize that. And then during those days, you're like, all right, I'm going to plan my fishing trips for day 7. What do you mean? You're going to go with your friends? I want to sit here and yell at you, feel better about myself. You're just like, eat the churros and we'll be fine. Yeah, so there. I just saved relationships. Once you realize, dude, superpower. Absolute superpower. Once you figure this out and you realize how much hormones affect our mental state and our physical behavior, you're going to have this superpower where all those fights you had, 80% of them are just some dumb shit because she feels like having the fight. And that's when you realize when girls talk about my truth, you understand what they mean. It's like, oh, I get it. Basically, you're on your period, you're PMSing. And they'll get mad, but they're not wrong. But you're not wrong. They're just mad at you for being an asshole. But they're going to get revenge. So you got to be careful on this stuff too. Here, I'll show you what I mean. Oh, fuck. I have watched that one 15 times, and it gets funnier every time I watch it. There is why. That is why my girl and I, we tried it before. We can't do renos together. We can't, because Like, granted, this doesn't happen because she's not an idiot, but like the fights will always start for nothing and then calmly walk away is our thing. Like, you can tell shit's about to pop off when one of us goes to pick up like Subway sandwiches. You're like, they need a minute. Oh, dude, they're sitting there. He's trying to give her directions and she's worried about being a nice person. That's technically solipsism, by the way. Solipsism, where girls always think about, like, how does this make me look? How's this process through me? So if the guy's giving clear, direct orders, like, hey, move this, move that, she's thinking, he thinks I'm an idiot. He's talking to me like I'm a bad person. And then they completely forget they're holding gravity up with a cement block. And I was just like, oh, man. Oh, I actually feel that in my fingers. I really do. I feel so bad for that guy because it's like that instant urge just to like headbutt the fuck out of your wife. Like, don't do it. Walk away calmly, sure. But that scream, they're going to steal that. That's going to be the new Wilhelm scream. I swear to God. I swear to God. Oh. All right. I got nothing else for that one. Let's move past this and get to something a little bit better. You know, there's one good advantage of having a daughter over a son. And that is, at some point in your daughter's life, she's going to turn 13. And until she turns 42, she's going to hate her mom. Every guy. How many girls have you dated? Find me, anybody in the chat, anybody who's watching this, and leave a comment below. When was the last time you dated a girl who liked her mother? I'm not saying didn't love her mom. Every girl loves her mom, but how many really like their mom? How many girls will get off a phone with their mom and not complain for 20 minutes? This one's a little more sad though. But the point was, like, in the divorce, the guy's like, oh, that bitch taking all my money, spending the child support on, I don't know, drugs or hair product. I don't know what the chick was spending it on. The fact he wasn't spending it on rent kind of leads me to believe that possibly he thought that dating a stripper thing was cooler than it really was. Not my place to judge. The daughter seems all right. She's got a pretty good scowl on her. But yeah, so you get the MRAs, and this is where it was sent to me. One of these guys is a very MRA type guy. He's like, you see this? This is why they need to means test alimony and child support. And this is why they need to have it accountable and create an accounting thing from the government to keep my bitch ex-wife from spending our kids out of house and home and forcing me to pay double. And it's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, nobody's going to do that. You know why? Because they don't give a shit about guys, and they don't. If they were holding this girl accountable for you, government would have made it so she wouldn't have been able to leave you because she wasn't happy in the first place. So it's just not going to happen. As soon as you start expecting the laws to come favoring men, you've already ceded your power to the government, and you got to deserve what you get. But the one advantage is, and I tell this guys too, if you're going to fight and spend all your money for an acrimonious divorce case for custody, don't worry about it. Kids turn 13. I don't know what age it is in your jurisdiction, but for a lot of times the kids get to pick where they live. Legal custodian doesn't mean they have to live there. It just means that, you know, that's who the doctor calls first. So what happens is you just be a good dad. You do what you do. You don't badmouth mom, even if she deserves it. Cause you know, the kid doesn't need to hear that. It's like, why do you need to, like, why don't you just tell him Santa doesn't exist while you're at it? Cause you fucking prick, you know? So yeah, and the kids will turn 13 and they see how mom acts and how mom treats you, and they see how you act and you treat mom, and assuming you're not a absolute pile of shit, the kid 13 be like, hey dad, can I stay with you for a bit? Mom just spent the rent on White Claws and podcast trips. And he's like, yeah, come on over. You can hang out with me for a bit. And then bam, Father of the Year. All you had to do was not be that lady. Oh, okay. Got one more. You're going to like it. Or maybe you won't like it. It's like the visual doesn't sell it, but the message is solid.
This gotta be a joke, right? There's no way that this is real. I hate to use the term, but this is the biggest beta male fucking energy I've ever seen in my entire life. At no point in time does it ever cross my mind that my girl might be with somebody else. I'm confident in the fact that she's with me and me alone. And I don't need to go to the gym to be able to keep her. I love you guys, but that's the number one thing that really fucks most men over. Like, genuinely fucks them over. They don't do shit for themselves. They do shit because they want a woman. And if your main motivation is the idea that the girl that you like or the girl that you want to be with or the girl that you are with is potentially getting railed by another guy, you got your priorities fucked up. Your whole mental health situation is fucked up. Your life is fucked up. Take care of yourself because you deserve it. Take care of yourself because it's good for you. Take care of yourself because you're a man. Take care of yourself because no one else is going to take care of you. And for Christ's sakes, love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, no woman's ever going to love you. And that's the truth.
It's the Canucks hat that sells it, you know? That's the old school Canucks hat. I don't know if you guys are hockey fans, but the Canucks used to have this really cool, like, sunset looking thing, and then they switched to the stupid stick. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, there's so many guys I saw on this ever since my old video of, like, George Bruno, where he sent out a tweet, unironically. If you don't know who he is, ask around, somebody will tell you. He's like my personal favorite lol cow of the Metaverse. Oh, he's fucking brilliant. He's fucking brilliant. Stir your chopsticks for the vortex effect, fellas. Anyway, he was like putting out his thing. He's like, if your girl earns more money than you, you gotta hide money under the bed, because then she's gonna leave you because she doesn't date broke guys. And it's like this weird tradcon fantasy that if it's not for what you bring home at the end of the day, she can't stand you other than your check. And it's like this weird guy neuroticism, which is weird because that used to be like how you'd market to chicks in the 60s. But now for some reason, beta males in 2020 are like, oh, eating that shit up. And that's the other thing. It's like, oh, dude, if you don't have a six-pack, no six-pack abs, you're not 6 feet tall, 6-figure salary, she's going to be railing 3 dudes in the parking lot every night. And then they start building themselves up into this weird anxious mess. They start looking at their girl all paranoid. It's like, where did you go? You slip a GPS tracker in her car, and then it just shows the grocery store. Who were you blowing in the grocery store? She's like, I bought lettuce, you idiot. You're like, where's the lettuce? Let me see it. You're like, it feels a little light. Let me see the receipt. Ah, you left the lettuce at Tom's house, didn't you? And then you have these stupid fights where the girl is... I've seen guys have these fights. It's actually kind of funny because the girl's not even like defensive or angry, more confused. But she's feeding off of that fucking little dick energy. And so the fight starts, but nobody's really invested. The guy's everybody's dancing around the subject. He's like, I don't want to lose you. And her issue is like, I need you to be the guy that doesn't think I'm not going to lose you. So I don't want to go suck that guy's dick. And then it's just messed. It's messed. So yeah, look, I will tell you right now, if infidelity is a concern, and it's a concern, there's like that genetic thing with the cavemen, makes sense. If it's a concern, you'll find out eventually. Have you, in the history of ever seen your girl or a girl keep a secret? They fucking suck at it. She'll hide it from you for like a week, maybe 2 weeks. Oh my God, you don't know. Yeah, you won't know, but you'll find out soon enough. She won't be able to shut up about it. She won't shut up about it. She'll leave hints lying around the place. All of a sudden there's condoms around the house that you didn't own and don't fit you. And you're like, that's weird. I guess maybe she's just, I don't know. I can't even think of a non-medical use for using them or whatever. So it's like, oh, maybe I need to kick her ass to the curb. Maybe I need to put her in the streets. Maybe it's time to start watching some content where they unironically talk about 304s everywhere. You'll find out. You'll handle it. But yeah, the gym, I just told you with Churro Boy, if you aren't going for yourself, she's just going to fatten you up anyway. If anything, it's probably, actually, no, which one would be worse? I should almost do a poll on this. What would you rather have, your girl fatten you up with churros or your girl sucking dick in the parking lot? Nah, you know what? I like churros. Forget I already know the way that poll's going to go. Yeah. But anyways, good guy. Nice mustache. Doesn't really work out, but, you know, whatever. I can't hold that against him. The message is solid. And if you guys would have heard that from a fucking ex-kickboxer, Islamic, what's the latest bullshit he's doing? If you heard it from that guy, you'd all buy it out, hook, line, and sinker. So just relax. Just because some little Canucks fan said it doesn't mean it's not true. What the fuck is that? Dude. I don't understand. Like, first off, I can't tell, is she a married chick? Because she's dressed like, how can I say this politely? Lesbian. You know? So like, but then again, I remember in like small town I was from, there was always that one chick that like had like massive forearms. She was like, all right, this is my husband, Stanley. And, but then bitching about the nuclear family. Like the only reason the guys want a woman in their life is so that they can live like aristocrats. Like that's ridiculous. What the hell, man? Of all the things to bitch about. She's just sitting in her car reading Twitter. Saw some random feminist chick. Guys just want wives so we can have a free maid. It's like, dude, first off, you're way more expensive than a maid. So what you're inferring is that the guys are the stupidest economic people on the planet. Fair. Fair. I've seen what guys spend their money on, so I won't argue that point, but I don't know. I think a lot of times, like I bet you anything pre-TikTok, what happened is girls would just go into their car and scream it out. And then nobody could hear it because they'd be blasting Katy Perry or whatever the fuck. And like, yeah, I love this song. And then fucking, ah! And then they go back in the house. Now that all the screams are out of their system, they hug their kids and whatever. But now that there's TikTok, they get to scream into like the collective void in like the female version of like black pilled, incel, you know, hang out, the He-Man Woman Haters Club. It's like the woman's scream chamber has now become an echo chamber, and it makes no sense to me. I don't know. Let's shit on some more fitness guys. This is starting to depress me.
Kings, it's not too late to get that six-pack for the summer. Just make sure you're spending 7 minutes.
Not only is this guy kind of annoying,
2 sets of 30 seconds of sit-up twists.
I want to bring something to your attention. Something called the swimmer's body illusion. Imagine someone, if you will, that wants to get in shape. They think the bodybuilders look too swollen and stupid, and they think runners look too skinny and miserable. They go, oh, swimmers, they've got amazing physiques. I'll start swimming. 3, 4, 5 months in, they realize they don't look like a swimmer. They're like, what the fuck is up? They then come to realize that swimmers don't look the way they do because they swim. They swim because of the way they look. People think I'm big and broad because I played rugby. No, I played rugby because I was big and broad. When my whole school year went to play rugby, only the big guys and the fast guys and the athletic guys actually enjoy it. Then they continue doing it and getting better. Those that don't. So when we see people in shape like this, I'm sure it works very hard, but genetically spread across populations are some people that are just going to build muscle quite easily and remain relatively lean with minimal effort. So people like this don't look the way they do because of what they're preaching. They're preaching what they preach because of the way they look. That's why most personal trainers are really incredibly unfucking relatable. They're a non-empathetic, broccoli-wielding ball bag, and because they're in good shape, their friends go, you should be a personal trainer. They wonder why it doesn't last out. They're only doing the job because of the way they look. They're not the way they look because of the job they do. It's important to keep that in mind whenever you see some cunt in baby oil online tensing his muscles and telling you to do ab workouts.
Some cunt in baby oil online. Dude, that line belongs in a museum. I love that one. Dude, that guy's awesome. I can't remember who it was. I wish I should have saved the names of who sent me these things, because some of you guys are all right. I like that guy. First off, the haircut has like Australian I don't give a fuck vibes to it, which is awesome on its own. You know, kudos to him. I'm not one to judge for hairstyles. But secondly, yes. Oh, God. The amount of people I see trend to the nines with like some crazy genetic thing, like 6'4", like the AJ Cortez types. I don't get it. Why don't you guys just do exactly what I do? It's like, dude, that's not how bodies are built. And this is why, like, when it comes to like when the red pill's talking like fitness advice and stuff, like we don't go too hardcore. It's always just like strong lifts, basic bare bones, because you're never going to cater to everybody's style. And some people are like I know they did some studies where Asian people, I guess they have a lot less receptors for testosterone. So it's actually harder. You need more free floating testosterone in order to absorb it and make your muscles or whatever. And I think the Germans had like a ton of it. I think Samoans probably were the best in the world, something like that. So like depending on your ethnic breakup and your DNA, like you can, if you're on HGH or whatever, you're gonna need a lot more than another person. Or some people are really good at staying lean. Some people are staying thick. Like, so yeah, when you see some guy bragging about it, I think they just found a Liver King. If you don't know, this guy who just says, eat raw liver and you'll be jacked. And he's completely yoked. They found out he was on more steroids than horses. And they're like, oh, all right, fair enough. I guess it wasn't the fucking liver. But how many guys do that? They all do. They're like, dude, my thing, like whatever it is that I do is awesome. And you're a beta male if you don't do it. And then behind the scenes, they aren't even doing it. It's either genetic or whatever. So it's just like, I don't trust naturals to begin with when it comes to game. Like a guy who looks like he doesn't have to try hard, he couldn't teach me nothing. It's like, oh yeah, just walk up to a girl and say hello. It's like, well, okay, Mr. Cortez. If I was 6'4" with that big Cro-Magnon forehead, I'd be able to just sit there and grin like an idiot too. But unfortunately, I don't have those skills. I actually have to string a sentence together, throw on a smile, be a little charming, call a girl a cunt from time to time. So yeah, I'll take my fitness advice from a guy who looks like he started as a fat dude, rather than listen to the natural tell me, oh, just talk to him, bro. It's like, hey, just fuck yourself.
Meet me at our spot. Come on, baby, are you right? I just want to look into your eyes.
Don't care. Got laid. Dude, bless that woman. I love the one thing I do like about like the feminism and no diversity and inclusion and no judge for nothing is that girls can be themselves, and sometimes a girl is just a goofy bitch, you know? Like, bless them. It's great because it can be a lot of fun. They actually, I love playing Minecraft. You're like, I'm sure you do, and you're like, holy shit, she really does. It's good stuff. The guy rolling his eyes, oh, I get it, it's performative. He doesn't actually really bothered by it. I mean, like, look at her rack. Like, he's not bothered by it. But yeah, I don't mind that stuff. As long as they can turn it off. Because there's a weird thing where some girls, like, they have some insecure. I know it's strange. Some girls have an insecurity thing about them. And so every time they're looking hot and sexy and doing sexy stuff, they have to ruin it by making a goofy face or goofy voice or dancing like an idiot or something like that. That way they can say, well, I wasn't trying to be hot. I was just goofing around, as a way of like covering their ass. And it's like, dude, do you understand how thirsty you guys are? Like, do you really know? Like, we had a meeting last week, like the big He-Man Woman Haters Club, and thirst, 30%. Like, turns out the Justin Trudeau's inflation has affected thirst too. Thirst is up 35% year over year, and it's just not getting any worse. Like, there's a chick right now who's like barking like a dog on OnlyFans, absolutely crushing it. Just bought her second Escalade to fit in the house. She had to buy a new garage to fit the car in there. So don't worry about looking goofy. But I mean, whatever. It's nice to see that they don't have to just sit there and pretend to be, you know, trophy wives, because like it'll be a little fun. Plus, there's a great story out of it. Let's say she's physically crazy, like she's actually crazy and does some weird shit, and you're like, oh, I can't believe I survived that. You'll be able to talk to your buddies for years. Hey, remember that chick you did in the back seat who all of a sudden turned into The Exorcist? You're like, oh yeah, Stacy, that was great. Good times, man. Good times. You guys can have that story. You know, if you survive. If you don't survive, then whatever. I'll make a chick talk on you. Man died while sleeping with a chick that basically went nuts. That's good too. Just don't complain. Speaking of which, where's my complain boy? You know, do you guys know? Do you guys know that thing where it's like a girl gives you the silent treatment? And a lot of guys are like, oh my God, I got to figure out what's wrong. What's wrong, baby? And they hound her and they hound her and they hound her. We call those guys like idiots. And then there's the guy who's like, I've been married for 7 years, or I've been dating this girl for 10 years. And then the girl gives them the silent treatment. And then they load up Tekken and they're like, oh, thank God. Or they go fishing and they're like, oh, I got like an afternoon to myself. This is going to be awesome. This is a lesson you guys need to learn. So a lot of girls are neurotic control freaks. I mean, it's a scientific thing. Jordan Peterson said it. You can believe it. Women actually have a neurotic. That's my best Peter. I don't think it's the best I got. But the point is, the way to stave off neuroticism, there's like one way that girls do it themselves. It's by being control freaks. Turns out, yeah, you think Karen is just a bitch? No, she's not a bitch. She's a walking general anxiety disorder, and that is her coping mechanism. Her coping mechanism is calling the manager, and so they want to control everything. Where it's like, put the dishes away. It's like, you're putting it in the wrong spot. I'll just do it myself. And then the guy's like, oh, that's great. The wife's toxic trait is the best trait ever, and here's why it's awesome. So, when it comes to cleaning, you obviously are going to come into a relationship. Two people are going to have different levels of clean. Now, as the guy, you have your level. I'm assuming it's good and you're not a slob. If it is, get it up to livably clean. Don't want to be a slob. If you're a girl, chances are you not only want clean, but you also have some weird rituals. Like if the penguin doesn't face east, then you got to hit him with the fucking mallet and the things. That's a Stephen King joke if you don't know it. Misery, it's a good movie. So you make a deal with yourself where you're like, I'm going to make sure things are clean to my standard. And if she wants her goofy bullshit dancing penguin standard, then she's more than happy to take over. And most girls do, because the idea of not feeling anxious is more important to them than equitable sharing of the chores. And then she does her thing, and then you don't stress yourself out, and everybody wins. So I would say it's probably the best toxic trait ever. One best toxic trait ever. All right. Where'd I leave off?
Here's a recent court decision involving separated parents of a 2.5-year-old boy. The interesting thing about this case is the father tried to use secretly recorded audio and video evidence in support of his application for a change in the parenting arrangement. In July 2021, the parties separated. At that time, the mother brought a protection order application against the father. He consented to that application being granted, so an order was made for a protection order against him. He says now in his court application for Monday to Friday parenting time with the child that he consented to that order basically as an easy way to get out of the house. In his application now before the court, the father says the protection order application as well as the mother's conduct after separation has been calculated to keep him out of their child's life. In order to prove his case, he secretly recorded a number of his interactions with the mother using his phone. These were audio conversations. He also took a number of video recordings of the mother, and she knew he was taking those video recordings. She did not know he was taking the audio recordings. So the court hearing this case had to determine whether it should admit as evidence both the audio recordings and the video recordings. The court starts by noting that courts across Canada have held that it's generally unacceptable for parties to want to tender evidence of secret audio and video recordings in family law cases. The court basically says that if it readily allowed such evidence in family cases, it would basically be encouraging parties to take such secret recordings, and that would have the effect of increasing the conflict between the parties. And the whole point of family law is to de-escalate the conflict between the parties. Further, taking secret recordings that involve children unnecessarily involves those children in the parents' fight. The court says the test for admissibility of evidence like this ultimately boils down to whether the evidence's probative value outweighs its prejudicial effect to the court. In other words, is it better to admit the evidence than to exclude it? The court says it's often the case that the prejudicial effect of secret recordings in family cases outweighs its probative value because, again, to admit that evidence would be to encourage an escalation of conflict between the parties. If we pause here for a moment, I often hear from people, well, you know, Canada is a one-party consent state. And that may be true. However, the law is clear, specific for family cases. It is presumed that secret recordings will not be admissible unless the probative value of that evidence outweighs its prejudicial effect. In the end, in this case, the court did not admit those recordings that were taken secretly, and in the end did not grant the father's request for a significant change in the parenting schedule. The father was given some more daytime parenting with a review in 3 months to determine if he should get overnights. Now you know.
Why? I showed you 3 minutes of the most boring video ever. Why did I do that? It's because I got hurt! I got hurt, damn it! I see the men's rights guy and the marriage isn't good for the men and the women in Gloiven. I get it. I get it. I've done the girl rights what rabbit hole with Paul Elam. I get it. And you ever notice where guys, like Claire and I talk about it, it's like, don't get married. I'm like, marriage is a bad deal for men. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, it's not a good ideal for men. I talk about relationships well. I absolutely have nothing good to say about marriage. Because, like, here, let's put it this way. You got 4 scenarios, but like 2 only matter. The separation ones. You separate and your girl's amicable and kind and nice. Or you separate and your girl's a massive raging cunt. Now, imagine that where they say, oh, like even if you separate and you're not in a relationship, like you're not married and you have kids, that's still something to deal with. But as soon as you throw a ring on it, family law gets involved and they fuck you hard. Like here, this is not the only example either, man. So in this case, if you guys didn't understand what he was going at here, he's basically saying dad legally recorded mom acting like an absolute bitch, like trying to alienate the kids from him, which is, it's one of those things that's illegal but not listed as illegal, kind of like sociopathy. It doesn't really exist, but it's there and everybody knows it. And the court's like, well, if we let this in, this is going to encourage other guys to show examples of their wife being an absolutely horrible parent for the benefit of the kids. And we don't want that, because fighting is, conflict is bad. Even if it is, the conflict's already there. We just don't want to see it. So we're going to assume, unless it's a horrible case, which I'm assuming Balenciago is the only example we have so far, that we're just going to say, no, sorry, man, you're just going to have to suffer through her absconding with the kids and weaponizing them against you for 20 years. Can we have some more money, please? Because it's family court. And why wouldn't you prefer the women? It's all run by a bunch of horrible feminist chicks. It's not just that. Did you know in Canada too, in another court case, they found out that, let's say you're doing all the tests on the kids and whatever, and then you do your test and you find out, oh, okay, if this test for blood type is true, there's no way this guy's the dad. As a doctor, are you obliged to tell them, hey, by the way, kid's not yours? And the doctors thought really hard about it. They talked to family court lawyers and they said, ultimately, no, it's actually a bad idea because, and here's their justification, if I tell dad that the mom is a cheating whore, he might leave the kids, and that's bad for the family. So when I see all these fresh and fit guys with like, you gotta hold these bitches accountable, I'm like, dude, really? Really? That, it's enshrined in law that these bitches will never be held accountable. So fucking relax. Why do you say not to treat women seriously? Why do you say marriage is a bad deal for men? I don't know. Maybe it's because I have 2 functioning brain cells and some eyes, but you know, whatever. Here's the thing though. I could bitch about this stuff for years. You guys will sit here, watch my content. I'll be ranting like Aaron Clary. I'm like, these bitches are... And you'll be like, oh, this is great content. She's helping men. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that to you guys. Look, you know, it's there. Let it go. Don't marry that chick. If you have any indication that she's not going to be like this, yeah, don't put up with her shit. During the separations, understand the law's not on your side. Act accordingly. Make better decisions. And that's all you can really do. It's like birth control. Because once you nut, you're completely out of the process, man. Out of the process. And what happens for the next 18, 19 years of your life. So better focus on the parts you can control. Because, damn it. But I don't like the feeling. Yeah, well, I don't like child support. So fucking make your decisions.
It's been 2 years since the last time I kissed this guy, so I'm going to kiss him again in honor of Halloween and people pretending to be people that they are not. Okay, you can leave my room now. You can leave my room now. Love you, concrete.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Dude, alright, look. I get it. This is most likely a skit, and they played it up for the cameras. It's kind of not the point, though. The fact is, oh, the baby's his. I guarantee the baby's his. I'll walk you through this. Even if they are happy, and this is just an act, they know there is enough people in the audience that are fans of this stuff that it resonates so hard with the way a lot of moms are feeling. This is that, like, mommy shit. You remember that comic that was floating around a while back where it was like, the dad ate the peach and then the mom just bitched about it in the comic. It was big on Twitter for like 5 minutes. It's like, you get those girls and they're partying it up in their 20s. They're loving it. Oh, sex and Tinder. And I can't believe this is great. 27, 28 comes, the wall's approaching, the baby rabies is hitting. And they're like, fuck, I need a man really bad because I want a family. And so they find like the first man that's available, who's usually like the really good dad, you know, the one who stepped up, not the stepdad. They get horny because they want a baby right away. And the dad's like, this is great. This is the greatest sex of my life. Because it technically is. Then she gets pregnant. And because it was a dude she didn't like, having sex with a guy she wasn't attracted to, she was just hooked on the baby rabies hormones. All the attraction goes back to where she was when she was 23. And he was the guy that she would cry about. Oh my God, he left me after the Tinder date. I'm so glad you're such a good friend. That's the dad now. And then they basically lose all interest in the guy. And it sucks for the guy because he thought, I was a Chad now. I did all the right things. I did the chores. I got the job. I was a good dad. I went to church. And the preacher said I just have to talk about my feelings and ask for more sex, and nothing happened. It's because she doesn't love you, bro. And that kid will sleep in the bed, in the middle, the family bed. There's a reason that dads call their kids cock blockers. It's for that exact reason. And it's like, dude. And they walk into it, and it really is. Like, you can tell people, like, here, girls, don't get together with the guy you're not in love with or you're not desiring. And that's fine and well to say. But when a chick's 28, she's not fucking hearing that. She's like, no, I want this guy because he's there and he's now, and I want one now. And the guy, you were like, hey, have some game, learn what you're doing, wait till you're over your 30s to even try to settle down, look for genuine desire. And the guy would be like, shut up, I got Jesus on my side, I don't need your red pill nonsense. And then they get together and they make this horrible life, and this kid gets woken up. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. I'm assuming it's a boy because the blanket was sort of blue. And he's like, well, I guess this is what families are like. And then he grows up to be just as bad a simp as dad. And then he goes online and he starts hating women. You know, makes himself I'm going to make my guy call him wheat waffles, and I'm going to bitch about women online. I'm going to make Tik Toks. Oh, fuck. That's how the cycle perpetuates. All because of shit like this. So that's an awful large statement to make from 30 or 20 second TikTok, isn't it, right? Yeah, it is. But I'm not wrong. Not wrong. Not like these other stupid fucking alpha male podcasters. Case in point, gonna see some little, yeah.
How many girls do you know actually have hobbies?
How many girls do you know? End of sentence. Is this really where we're at? We're gatekeeping activities. Follow-up question. What percentage of your life do you think you've spent gesturing at women to remove their headphones? Hey, let me be on your podcast. I want to talk to you.
This, my friends, is what they call an AMOG. in the old pickup parlance. An AMOG. That Zoom game. Look, I get it. You're thinking simping. He's not wrong. Here's the thing. So that David Spade dude apparently is like a podcaster. I don't know if he's any good or not. If he's better than me, I'm going to fucking cry. But, so he's talking about the old thing where women tend to develop the hobbies based on the men that they date. That's what he's saying. Now that was really originally what the red pill guys came up with. You meet a girl, she's cool, she's into this thing. She used to date a guy who was into that thing, and she kind of picked up his hobbies. It's based on the psychological idea of borderline personality, which is like a bell curve. And most women are inside the middle of the bell curve. And then when you get at the end of the bell curve, that's where bipolar or borderline personality disorder comes in. Those BPD chicks that ruin your life. So most girls are in the middle. In other words, you dating a girl, it's like Rolo when he has his San Francisco 49ers hat. When he started dating his girl started liking the 49ers because that's what girls do. It's called mirroring, right? So typical of red pill fucking influencers, here's this. That's not catchy enough for marketing. You know, girls don't have fucking hobbies because they're trash. Everybody's like, holy shit, this guy must be wise. He's got a podcast. Wow. And then this guy saw that and he's like, dude, I'm going to flex on this fucking nerd and totally get all the poon. Now, he's somewhat attractive, so it's pretty easy for him. And to be fair, I did kind of chuckle because he's right. Like, dude, you don't get laid. Like, it's the opposite of I hope she sees this, bro, right? But you know what? And normally, if this was a guy making the point properly, I'd be like, yeah, on his ass and like making fun of this dude. Instead, this dude's like, no, I think you made some dumb shit point that you picked up by marketing some red pill shit on your fucking White Claw Express. You're going to take all the AMOG out of this one because I guarantee you. And it's funny too, because you can see him just like fucking eyeballing the guy in the camera. And I'm like, dude, I bet you that guy was stressed out just watching the TikTok, you know? Yeah, Riv would have loved the lean-in kiss. Oh, fucking Riv. God, of all the people on Earth, how does the most famous pickup artist on Twitter be a guy who gets laid 8 times in 10 years in Spain? It's like ridiculous. Anyways, the point is, know what the fuck you're talking about, or some attractive dude is gonna AMOG you. Absolutely. If anybody knows any detail on that Joe Dirt podcast looking guy, you let me know, because it's just fucking ridiculous. I don't know. Does he actually try to look unattractive on there to appeal to unattractive guys? Or like, oh, I could do it too, without showering.
I'm currently making $10,000 a month working as a stripper in the Metaverse. This is my character Jada, who I created about 6 months ago and started dancing in random clubs. Pretty soon, I started to get more and more tips, and those tips were given to me in various cryptocurrencies. I then took those currencies and converted them back to fiat, and now I'm paying my rent in New York with this money. It just goes to show there really is no excuse for not making money in this day and age. You might just be trying to make it in the wrong universe.
Hey, you know the funny story? He's the developer of FTX, and he's one of the new coders over at Twitter. Now, I don't know. I remember seeing this guy. Everybody's always got like random videos around. I'm pretty sure he's a satire account, and he's just faking it. But it's still fucking funny. It is, because I've heard of stuff. Like, dude, did you guys not know online there's no chicks online? There's no girls online. There's a great 4chan quote on this one, basically describing why. I won't get into it now, but the ending of it is great. It says, eat shit. Tits or get the fuck out. Yeah, but there's so many guys who act like it. Like every time, and they always out themselves. Here is why, from your online viewing social media experience, why it's good to know that men and women are different, and the differences between men and women. Because when men pretend to be women, they suck so bad at it. You will always get, like, among traditional Catholics, which is, there's a thing. They will always have a bunch of dudes pretending to be chicks online, and you'll recognize them because it's the account that's always like the Abby of the side of a girl's jawline and her clavicle, which is like incel giveaway number one. Only incels are worried about their fucking jawline, man. It's the internet rule. Women are men, children are feds. Yeah, so you get that, and their instant, like, dick size is always like their go-to insult for you. And it's like, first off, girls don't bitch about dick size. Girls don't even know what size is. They have very bad spatial logic. It's proven. It's science. Trust and believe the science. They'll go after you. You can't get laid. But guys, because we're insecure about our dicks, then we must make fun of other people to be insecure about your dicks. So if you have some chick online that's making fun of your dick, just realize you're being catfished by a dude. Yeah, clavicle maxing. Exactly. Now, this guy, honestly, here's a question for you. If I offered you $10,000 a month, and you just had to pretend to be an online cat tattooed up stripper on Facebook Metaverse, would you? I mean, I wouldn't, but only because the Metaverse sucks. Like on Second Life, maybe. I don't know. What's your stripper number? Let me know in the chat. What's your stripper number? And we'll see exactly how good we can make it. You know what's fucking weird too? In the 90s, there was this anime. I used to love it. It's called Macross Plus. It's like one of those old Gundam ones. I'm probably dating myself. But it was like a Samu, and they fight in these giant robots that have like swords and shields, but then they can transform into planes. They're like Transformers. You got a plane, and you got the robot. And they go out and they fight other ones. And then they had this AI singer that was like a giant hologram, and she brainwashed the entire audience to turn into like warrior things and tried to take over the earth as like an AI bot. It was the coolest shit ever. And I'm starting to think like that was some cool sci-fi back in the day. Now I'm like, oh, that's what's going on. Well, that's weird. Bryan Cranston did the voice work for it. Pretty good too, by the way. It's really good. You should check it out. Don't check out this guy's stuff though.
I apologize to my wife this week. The first one, I wasn't cold. She was cold. She asked me if I was cold. I said no. That is unacceptable. I know now that I must sense her body temperature and will my body to match it so that we can live in climate unity.
I did not know who Kim was. My wife had received some scandalous intel on someone named Kim. However, I had the audacity to interrupt her story to ask her who Kim was. I've since learned that Kim is a distant cousin of hers that I met over a decade ago at a funeral. So to make sure this trespass never happens again, I've begun working on a spreadsheet of every single human my wife has encountered her entire life. I can't hear through walls. My wife chooses to speak to me at the same volume whether she's standing directly beside me or is 3 rooms away. I was under the assumption that solid surfaces dampen sound. This is false. The reason I cannot hear my wife must be due to some genetic failure in my inferior bloodline. To remedy
All right, I'm not. I was like, there's 5 minutes of that. I'm not doing this. Look, dudes, I've talked about the emasculation paradox a lot. It was literally the first red-pilled field report and the first red-pilled theory. Keone Galt came out with it in 2008. And this guy is like epitomizing it. Now I get it. Oh, this will be hilarious. Like, so many guys can relate to being henpecked by their wife. And I'm like, it is kind of funny, but not for the reason you think. And even if this one is an act, the fact that a whole bunch of guys not only do this, but they're like, we should turn it into a comedy sketch. Tells you everything you need to know, man. All right, look. And I say this with love. I want you, if you're in one of these marriages where there are relationships where the girl sits you down and bitches you out because you don't know who Kim is, or you're cold, I want you to sit her down and like put your hands on her legs, like right above the knees, look into her eyes longingly, and you take off your glasses if you wear glasses. If not, just squint, and you get up real close and you're like, baby, yeah, I wanted to tell you something for years now, and I just want to make sure that you know we're gonna be together forever, right? And I just want you to know you need to shut the fuck up and then stare for like 30 seconds to make sure it truly sinks in. She'll mouth off some chihuahua noises, but don't worry about it. She'll learn. Look, the emasculation paradox is the idea that a girl gives you these things called double binds. If you've never heard of a double bind, then you've clearly never seen a psychiatrist, because it's actually I want to say it's a narcissism trigger, where they like to maintain control over relationships. So they offer a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario. You give an answer. Both the answers are wrong. You get bitched out for it. The other person becomes supplicative, tries to submit to you in order to make you feel better, and they generally distance themselves. So the narcissist ends up getting somebody who's very avoidant. Now, this is because guys don't like conflict with women, because, I don't know, she's 120 pounds. Like, you can take her in a fight, so I don't know why you're worried about it, but fuck, whatever. The way to get around this conflict, or this paradox, the paradox is, if I avoid all this conflict and apologize when she's angry, then I'll have a problem-free life and she'll leave me alone. Turns out, they get angrier when you don't sit them down and call them a cunt and shut the fuck up. That's the paradox. And so you have to stand up for yourself. Are you cold? No. Well, what the hell's wrong with you? With all that mouth talking you're doing, you could have saved so much heat by not blowing it. What she will leave you for, though, is being an absolute bitch about it. So you don't want to be an absolute bitch about it. Anyway. Oh, man. See, this is why I hate when you guys send me shit. Because you send me, like, divorce counselors and shit. There's dudes, divorce lawyers. Oh, here, watch.
Men should always pay on the first date. And get this, for our own good. You know, when us guys take an issue with paying the first date, the issue isn't tied to the number of dollars that we're spending at the end of the day. And if it is, respectfully, you need to go get a job. The issue is when we end up paying for someone who has this real sense of entitlement, like this expectation that we will pay. That's precisely why we need to always pay. Because look, your date, whoever that is, may very well be the person you end up marrying. And trust me when I say, as a divorce lawyer, who you end up marrying is so important. So let's say at the end of the date, you pull out your wallet to offer to pay, and your date just sits there, expecting you to pay, as if that is the obvious course of action. In that moment, what did you just learn? You just learned that the person in front of you is entitled and frankly has the audacity to expect a near stranger to pay for them. And just imagine how someone like that will treat their significant other, their spouse, for a low price of $20, $30, $40 or whatever. You learned that the person in front of you does not have the basic courtesy to pretend to offer to pay, and that therefore you should never go on another date with them. And that's why
What the fuck? Dude, $3. Jesus Christ. I did a video, dinner dates are for chumps, and this guy is a chump. I don't get it, man. Like, what the fuck? What kind of logic is that? Look, hey, guys, I'm a divorce lawyer, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to dating. I'm like, really? Do you? When you go to dinner with a girl, you should pay for dinner every time so you can test her to see if she does the reach. Like it's a fucking Seinfeld episode. It's like, dude, why do I have to explain this? Why does the guy who took his kudos from a dude wearing a feather boa and a fucking top hat have to teach you about how women work. This is how far we've fallen, fellas. It's how far we've fallen. Go on a fucking coffee date. Dinner dates are for chumps. Dinner dates aren't an interview. They're not a test. They're a fucking reward. They're with somebody you've already been dating. They're with a girl who already puts out. They're with a girl who actually you enjoy your time with. Because here's the thing. I used to argue, man. Oh, dude, there's this chick on Twitter. What was her name? Radfem Hitler. Which I'm like, you can already... I'm like, she sounds like a peach. Funny enough, she was a little bit adversarial. Kind of prickly. And I'm like, this is why you do a fucking coffee date. Because you don't know what you're walking into. Is she a crazy chick that's going to try to stab you? Is she an entitled chick that's just calling you for a food run? Does she not like you at all, but she's just there to get cute? Like, I don't know what the fuck. But if she's not there because she's actually interested in you and responds well to your game, then I'm not going to waste your time, and I'm not going to waste my time by sitting here having to sit through an hour meal having us talk to each other when neither one of us fucking like each other, or at the very least one of us doesn't like the other one. And this fucking broad comes at me with this like, well, that's the difference between you and me. I'm not an asshole. I can sit there politely and quietly while a guy buys me dinner. It's like, oh yeah? You can sit there and have your meal paid for you and shut the fuck up? Well, that's rather magnanimous of you, Jesus. Thank you. Thank you. To think the Romans only kept you up there for 3 days and you nailed yourself to the cross. It's like, no, fuck that. It's not about the money. It's about wasting my fucking time. So yeah, we're going to do a coffee date. And if you're sitting here, it's like, that coffee's only $3. All right, well, it's a parting gift then. Fucking later. We should get some real food. It's like, no. It's not about the money. It's about my fucking time. And so if you're going to waste my time, I'm not going to waste your time. But I can do it. I can be nice. I don't want you to be nice. I want you to be interested in me. Well, you're just saying because I bought you dinner, you're entitled to it? No. I'm saying that if we're not having fun times, then you're just not going to eat on my dime. I don't feed people that I'm not sleeping with. Unless you're family. I don't know, maybe if you bought the drinks then. Hey, you want to go out? I'll bring the bottle of wine. You bring some hamburgers. It'll be platonic. We could talk about that, sure. You'll bring rosé, but I'll bring the quality hamburgers because I'm not a cheapskate. But at least then it's something. But yeah, the fucking... You know what this is? This is the fucking divorce lawyers like, man, business is slow right now because of COVID. Everybody's too afraid to leave their spouse in case they die. I'm going to start drumming up some business and giving this fucking dating advice out. And now they know who to contact when the wife's like, I'm fucking out of here. I'm going to sleep with your brother. Fuck this. Dude, that's a grift and a half, man. I like that shit.
Babes, I've got some good news.
You're gonna let me get a tattoo of Jar Jar Binks on my face?
No.
You're so sad.
No, the good news is we've been seeing each other long enough that I've decided to make the great sacrifice that is taking the pill so you can stop wearing condoms.
Oh, yay.
Really? I thought you'd be more excited. You said you hated wearing condoms.
Yeah, I used to, but then I got a taste for them.
You've been tasting them?
Not while they're on.
What's your favourite flavour?
Probably strawberry.
Yeah, that's a good one. And your least favourite flavour?
Any of the rib ones. They don't taste like any ribs I've eaten, that's for sure.
That's because they're not rib flavoured.
You're telling me. I know.
Dude, Aussies are awesome. This has nothing to do with nothing, by the way. This is just because I found it so fucking funny. Don't taste like any ribs I've ever had before. I don't know. You guys want some? Oh, dude, stout. Okay, in the chat is this guy named Stout. If you're watching this is a recording, and pre-recorded, and I do some editing afterwards, whatever. Guy in the chat's like, who the hell wears condoms? There's very few hard and fast practical pieces of advice in the red pill space. And one of them is, they call them the Tomasi's iron rules. They're basically the few things that are like, all right, this pretty much universally applies. The one is always be in control of the birth control. Now, you saw the divorce lawyer bitching about dinner. You saw the other lawyer talking about how recordings can't be used in court. You saw me talking about, oh, the doctor won't even tell you if it's not your kid. Be in control of the birth control. Because once you nut, that's it. You are out of the decision-making process. It is her body, and it is her choice. Unless it's an experimental mRNA vaccine, in which case it's the government's choice, and you'll take it, and you'll shut up, and you'll keep your job. You don't get to say if she keeps it. You don't get to say she can abandon it at a fucking fire station. And you don't get to say shit. Did you know that they still have that, where if you put it in a box and leave it at a fire station, that's like an amnesty thing? Like in the military, we used to have ammo box. Like if you accidentally brought a couple rounds back from the range, you could put no questions asked, just put the ammo or the shells in the amnesty box, and then nobody's allowed to arrest you. Like they do that shit, but for children. It's like, what the fuck? And they can go to adoption. You don't get to say shit. They get to leave the country. You don't get to say shit. So yeah, who uses condoms? I don't know. The guy who doesn't want to be part of these 3-minute fucking Tik Toks. Some tragedy, man. Some absolute tragedy.
New trend. Show a picture of your boyfriend holding a fish, then a picture of him and you. This is him holding a slimy dead thing, and this is him holding the love of his life.
Good man. Good man. Oh, that's awesome. I don't think she gets it. She doesn't get it. He had to hunt for that fish. He had to learn the skill for that fish. That fish was his. He conquered it. He clubbed it up on the head and took it back to his cave. She, on the other hand, was fucking 28. She's like, I really want to drag you to this stupid wedding. That's solipsism, though. It's like girls don't really think outside of their own head. They think the universe is centered around their thoughts and everything is filtered from how does this affect me. So when they see the guy liking his time fishing and his guy being annoyed in like the cold fall weather, hugging it out with a good PSL summer hat and equestrian boots, maybe he's just happy when he's happy and he's not happy when he's not happy. And maybe the things that make you happy don't make him happy. But that's all right. Her girl's probably like that. I don't know. For some reason, it's like this weird sisterhood Uber Alice flex where it's like, hey, whose husband's more fucking annoying? And whoever wins that contest wins the cat fight. I don't know why. I don't know what that is, because mostly when guys get together and we talk about our girls, if the guy starts bitching about his wife, the dude's looking at him like, what the fuck's wrong with you, man? You don't talk shit about your spouse, let alone online. In fact, skip that divorce guy's shit from earlier on. Here's some really good relationship advice for you. Never talk shit about your spouse in public. Ever. Ever. 2 reasons. 1, it reflects badly on you. Well, if she's such shit, why are you with her? Number 2, if you're talking shit about her, chances are you give 0 fucks about her reputation, which is all that girls care about. Which means you don't understand chicks, so you're flat out telling you guys, hey, if she didn't marry me, I'd never get laid. So just don't do it. Trust me. And don't get me wrong, your wife could be a piece of shit. It's none of my business, but that's the point. It's none of my fucking business. Just let it go, man. Let it go. If she was that bad, leave her or sleep with her sister or something. Don't be bitching about it at fucking card night, dude. We're just trying to play some games here.
So, from what I understand, you guys each have the child about 50% of the time. Is that correct? Yeah, we both have her about the same amount of time. Okay. So, you guys can keep doing what you're doing, you know. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to submit this default visitation order into the system. It's just for the courts. Like I said, you guys can keep doing what you're doing, going outside of that schedule, doing your own thing. As far as child support, I'm thinking $300 a month. $300 a month, even though we have her the same amount of time. Yep. I think that's more than fair. You know, the mother gets the money. The mother gets the money. And then I understand that you've been giving her money prior to this court date. Unfortunately, we cannot give you credit for that. But what we can do, since you're like giving out money, Mr. Moneyman, we're going to include back pay on top of that $300 a month. So you have that to look forward to. Oh, you guys are back. Great. Let me just take a look and see what's going on here. Oh, okay. So the father is going to be taking custody. Yep. Okay. And you're going to be having the child 100% of the time because you guys are living in separate states? Correct. Oh, okay. Cool. Okay, and? Oh, yeah. Let me see. Child support. Shit, I don't know. I think $80 a month. $80 what? A month. Yeah, you heard me right. How is $80 a month enough to help support a child? Look, man, that's for you to figure out. I don't know why you're trying to take money from this hardworking woman. I mean, have some dignity, have some self-respect. Come on now.
Oh boy. Dude, okay, I had to watch it, so you have to watch it. There is a ton of these fucking single dad TikToks. And they all have the charisma of fucking wet cement. And I was just like, oh. I had to look at it too. I'm like, this is 2 minutes. I already saw the subscribers. Dude, you watch the analog thing as it goes, and it just like drops. Look, I get it. Everybody's talking about fairness in the courts. There's no fairness. It's getting better. But like, I'm going to keep throwing these like marriage is a bad deal for men examples to you. Know your laws. That's another good one. If you end up separated and there's some child support payments and you want to go above and beyond to do your thing, talk with a lawyer first, find out, because no good deed goes unpunished. And she doesn't care. She's getting paid either way. So like the part that kind of stuck out to me was where he was like giving money on his own anyway. And then now that the courts did some things, none of that counts. So yeah, just be a little Machiavellian. Like relax. Anyways, enough of this horse shit. I don't think I got any more MRA shit. Let's have some fun. You know what? This is what you guys came here for. You didn't come here for fucking marriage crap. Here's something good.
The sole purpose of this video is to remind you that I have really nice boobs.
That's what we come here for. That's going to be on the thumbnail. I don't got time to fuck around. Yes! What did you learn from that? Not a goddamn thing. But she's got the tattoos and she's whoring on the Instagram. I don't give a shit. You guys want on here? What did Rolo say? If you want to sell something in Vegas, you need something that's big. It's got red, flaming tits on it. And bam! In fact, we're going to do a second round just because I want those ads, I want those shows up.
The sole purpose of this video is to remind you that I have really nice boobs.
Off topic. What's with that fucking Irish alcoholic nose thing on there with like the super red one? Did she do a bump before the show? Which is weird because the TikTok was 5 seconds long. How do you need a bump to last 5 seconds on TikTok? Or maybe, I don't know, maybe you end up like bump, like, you know, when you run into a wall, like a flat thing with your nose and it bumps, maybe there's some feminine knee length or knee height equivalent to that. I don't know. But yeah, dude, I used to love TikTok when my girl would be sitting, like, you know, you guys are getting in a relationship, your girl's on the sofa, you're on the sofa, you're sitting there playing something on the TV or watching YouTube. She's watching TikTok on her phone. Life was just good. Life was good. And she would show me, and this is what TikTok was. It was big titty cosplayers dancing and lip syncing to the same 5 fucking songs. And they were all dressed up as vampires or kitty cats or whatevers. And I was like, man, this app is great. I think it's really going to blow up. And then it did. And what happened? Everybody started bitching about their wives and husbands. And the chicks started bitching about feminism. And podcasters started going on selling their shit. And I just want to go back to, like, you know, return. Yeah. Oh, okay. We got another good one. Here's some 304 shit.
What gives you the ick?
When a boy puts a seat...
I did it again!
What gives you the ick?
When a boy puts a seatbelt on...
Dude, this is like the least production quality recording I think I've ever done.
What gives you the ick?
When a boy puts a seatbelt on in the car, it repulses me.
Fuck it then, lads, eh? It don't matter. No seatbelt it is. You'll either go straight for the windscreen or you'll be paralysed. Who cares? You'll still get a shag off Stacey, who lives in Southampton, who's got the moodiest hoop earrings ever and a dodgy fake tan. No thank you. When the boy wears a seatbelt, it repulses me. Fuck off.
Dude, Brits are awesome, man. Brits are awesome. I love that guy. Well, fuck it then. Let's go. Maybe crippled, but we just get a shot at Stacey with them nasty hoops. Dude, I love it. I love it. It's so much like girls like that. That's what you call a shit test, man. A shit test. Girl will say shit just to see if you react. They are the original shock jocks. You know why? Because most guys will, like, you remember the guy who was like apologizing for being cold or not knowing who Kim was? Those guys will hear that shit and take off their seatbelt. Meanwhile, Neck Tap McChatterson here from Chadswick-Shireton in Southern Hampton knows what's up. It's like, shut up. He's actually where I got the strategy of you put your hand on your girl's legs and look her in the face and tell her to shut the fuck up. That was actually from his channel. Give him a follow. I think it's well worth. The seatbelt makes it difficult to unzip the pants. Oh my god. But you know what? Whatever. I think it was funny. Having said that, I'm pretty sure she railed that dude with the microphone a little bit later on, but what do I know? I'm just a goofy, what do they call them? The podcaster? Dudes with microphones? Anyways, you know what? I feel bad. I've given a ton of airtime now to the men's rights guys with the divorce law. I've given a tons of it to like the white cough, fresh and fit guys, where it's like, hey, give her a white claw and kick her off my thing. I've given a bunch to the thirsty dudes who want titties. And I'm like, you guys got everything. You know who I've left out? I've left out the MGTOWs. Like, no 304, equal lefts, equal rights. So here, to all my MGTOW brothers and your sex doll waifu fantasies, this one's for you.
When your 13-year-old brother gives you the right jab, and it's your parents' proudest moment.
Boom! That's how you do it, fellas. Look, when the feminism comes at you with the right cross, you got to go underneath and aim for the jaw. I don't know why. You know what? I know why I put it in here, because I just wanted an excuse to shit on MGTOWs. I don't know what it is. This one was apparently like hugely popular. 6 seconds of just like a 13-year-old brother punching his sister in the face. It got like 1 million views. So like, I just know this is like the guy who watches this is the same one who puts on that. You guys ever see that photo flown around in the thumbnail of like an 8-hour live stream ASMR of like a girl crying and sobbing softly? Like, I bet you a guy has that on a playlist with this. I guarantee it. To the point where you're just so like jaded with dating. You're like, just want her to cry. Me, the part I love about is the parents. You know what? They're like, yeah, our daughter, you want to dance with the champ? You could dance with the champ. She got popped, and the guy's like, that's my boy. Now, I'll tell you this. That daughter will never be that girl at the fucking bar looking in front of that dude with the neck tattoo, staring at him going, the fuck you gonna do? Fuck you gonna do? Because she already knew what the fuck he was gonna do. So if anything, this brother saved her a life of Jerry Springer, Geraldo Rivera, chair throwing bullshit that she can make a TikTok about how she's the victim and then start off a new merch brand from the fucking Outlaws and then a Me Too accusation. She saves all of that by just not starting shit. Because she's like, dude, my 13-year-old brother fucking clocked me. I ain't starting shit with no other guy. So if anything, he probably saved her life. And that's really what this is all about, isn't it? We're all here trying to save lives. And that man did it in the most fucking 13-year-old brother way possible. Now, in fairness, I have 3 sisters myself, and we fought a lot. And I beat the piss out of them too. They are probably the 3 toughest girls on earth. They're horse girls. So, but I mean, like, whatever. They've never had a story of some dude started shit with them, so they can handle themselves. So good on him. Oh, yeah. All right, MGTOWs. Here's going to be your MGTOW Jesus advice.
My knee was bothering me this morning. Do I have like a...
I'll tell you what you do, man. Cheat on her. Just cheat on her. Fuck it. Have your cake and eat it too.
I have been saying this for fucking years. She doesn't get first crack at your libido. Or if she gets first crack at your libido, she doesn't get sole custody. Like, if your girl is making up excuses like that to sleep with you, it's like, I get it. Oh, I got COVID. Okay, fine. You can have a day or 2. I broke my leg. Oh, fine. I'm about to deliver. Fine. You can have a couple hours to yourself. Is your mouse delivering too? I'm just joking. But yeah, if it's like constant ways of getting out of sleeping with you, same as the chick who like wouldn't kiss her husband and slept with the baby in the bed and shit. It's like, look, she's made her choice. Her choice is she doesn't want to sleep with you. Now, you have one of 2 problems. Your problem is either she doesn't want to sleep with you, or your problem is nobody wants to sleep with you. So you need to sort out which one it is. Now, if it's she doesn't want to sleep with you, then you go out and you get your needs met. And if she gets mad about that, you can say, well, what did you think was going to happen? Or you just don't say anything. It's like, do you really want to know? But for most guys, and I would argue most guys, the issue is no girl wants to sleep with you. But I married this one. I put a ring on it. It's like, dude, she's still a girl. If she's not attracted, she's not attracted. If nobody's attracted, then that's an issue you can fix. And then you'd be surprised how many guys switch their mindset from coming into the space thinking, how do I fuck my wife? And like the goal isn't to fuck your wife. The goal is to be more fuckable. And then you get to be that guy. And then that guy's more fuckable. And then lo and behold, women want to fuck him once he's more fuckable. And he's like, wow, what is this magic cult you've introduced me to? Ah, it's the red pilled cult, sir. Welcome. Enjoy your stay. Here's your messiah. His name is Rollo Tomasi. This is Anthony Johnson. We're going to proceed to make fun of him for a lot. And this is a giant kickboxer who calls you a beta male and joined Islam to get out of some money laundering charges. Hope you enjoyed your stay, sir. All right, we're almost out, actually. I'm getting at the end. I think there's 3 left. So let's make them work. Let's make them work.
I've been walking around with 0 bitches.
I don't get it. I have a good job. I'm a good father. My graphic t-shirt is awesome. Why do the girls not like you? It's like, yeah, it's not about money, dude. I'm actually surprised that we still have guys in 2022 in the land of billionaire Kim Kardashian and the other Chloe and all of them, and chicks earning good money, and corporate America basically suckling on the tittle of like women in the workplace because they're just better at putting up with shit. There's like alcohol campaigns selling girls like, hey, after work, don't you want to get drunk on something that's 0 calories? Well, we have a drink for you. It's called vodka. And they're like, holy shit, this is the best thing ever. And then they drink. That's why White Claws are so popular. They found out that like everybody's drinking all the vodka, but they have this stuff at the beginning when they distill it. It's called the head. It actually is like the worst stuff ever. It makes you go blind. And they're like, we got all this deadly poison alcohol that's left over. What are we going to do? And the guy's like, well, we can't sell it because everybody who drinks it dies. I'm like, I got a plan. I'm going to put club soda with it and like a couple spritz of like scent of lavender or some shit and like a touch of Splenda. And I'm going to put a thing on it and call it like low calorie or like diet booze. And the guy was a fucking genius. That man, Albert Einstein. Anyway, so in the land of all that, you think that being a milquetoast, boring, averagely whatever guy is going to be good enough. And it's just not. What about all these bitches? They're 170. Like, relax, man. It is amazing when you start to make yourself more fuckable. You know, start taking off your seatbelt. That you start seeing more thin girls. It's almost as if attractive people find and look for other attractive people. It's like rich people. You never see rich people at Walmart because they're busy at rich people places and they end up finding other rich people. So as you're more attractive, it'll be fine. Having said that, can you still buy $300 Civics? Like I remember when I was a kid in college and everybody had their like $500 shitbox car. But from what I hear, when inflation is really bad, that all those shitbox cars, like guys had a 1987 Toyota Tacoma 1/2 ton for sale for like $30,000. I'm like, dude, that thing cost $22,000 brand new. What the fuck? But then it turns out, I guess the war in the Ukraine, they had to borrow all of the Toyota Tacomas they could to staple on those 50 cals like they used to use in Mogadishu. And now they're just running low on things. So I don't know. So maybe the fact that he can find a guy who actually paid $300 for a Civic. I mean, I'd probably fuck that guy too. He's clearly very good. He's an economist. He must be. All right. So we're going to end this off. Okay. The last 2, I swear, are better. They're good. They're mostly chicks bitching. So at least they're probably hot enough that you can stare at them and be like, all right, whatever.
Baby, come on, baby, come on. When you
walk by every night, talking sweet and looking. I forgot about this broad. This is actually like a super popular theme on TikTok where it's like everybody loves their husband and then there's me. And it's always just chicks just glaring at like, fuck you, man. I think it's part of that Midwestern wife thing where it's like, look what you did to my body. It's like, hey, I wasn't the one with baby rabies. You did that to your own body. But then again, I think, honestly, you know what it is? I think it's the same reason why all of like your girl's friends, like she always has to have that one friend she hates She always has to call her mom, even though it knows it's going to piss her off. I think girls just need a nemesis. You know, what's that line from Snatch about the nemesis? Like, a personification of all that is evil or something like that. If they don't have anything to piss them off, they'll invent it. It's like that. It was like an old, Mish was telling about this old Islamic parable about the king. And it's the guy, his wife was like, oh, nothing's ever good enough, whatever. So he goes and he builds up an army and he conquers the known world. And after he conquers the world, he makes the capital, their city there. He builds a giant mausoleum for them, puts the big pyramid thing in the oasis in the desert, builds a giant castle, stands out on the balcony, and then looks out and he goes, you see this? Everything you see before you is all ours. And then she just looks over at him. It's like, yeah, but now what? I just don't think chicks are designed to be happy. I really don't. But I mean, at the same time, just let them bitch. Just don't take it seriously. Like, as you don't care. She's going to be angry about something. In fact, remember when you used to tell kids, like, hey, I'll give you something to cry about? How about that? I'll give you something to hate, and then just be a bit of a dick at home. So at least that way, she has something to be angry about, and you have some measure of control over it, and then the days that you're not a dick is actually really sweet. It's like when those girls were dating crackheads, and the guy got off crack for like 2 weeks. She's like, that was the best 2 weeks ever, and she'll stick with him for years. It was just holding on to those. Remember the day where you weren't on crack, and you're like, yeah, it was a good day. Anyways, hand me that crack.
On Saturday mornings, can you not make pancakes? Like, can you not make a big breakfast? Like, Milo can have toast. You're not going to cut the grass. First, I want to just have coffee. So sit down. On paper, it might look good. Like, oh, he's cleaning and making breakfast. Like, so nice. I would be, like, excited for him to get home. Then he would get home, and he would be like, hey, like, say hello, give us a kiss. And then he would go and start doing the dishes. I was like, why am I feeling rage because he's going to do the dishes?
This is how this dude's week is going so far. Comes home from a long day of work, goes to do some dishes. Can you not? Wakes up on his day off, goes to make some pancakes. Can you not? This is the definition of can a guy do anything right? I mean, this is exactly why guys stop trying, because they enter these damned if they do, damned if they don't situations. I mean,
I gotta pause it here. Absolutely nailed the landing on that one. This is another thing for you. This is the part that I like about this. This is actually a 2-part thing. I'm gonna put it up in here because she's gonna spend, it's like a 2.5 minute video. The first 30 seconds was showing the chick being a bitch, and the next 2 minutes is justifying why that's okay. And I'm just like, she must be a dating coach to be this fucking stunned. Like, yeah, chicks complain. Nothing's ever good enough. Don't do any nice things. And I agree. There's probably some. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna spoil it, but she's gonna get into the explanation. The explanation actually makes sense. Here's the point here. A girl gives what's called, in the red pill parlance, a shitty comfort test. It's that they want affection, they want comfort, they want to stave off anxiety, but they have no idea how to articulate these things because it's just a feeling they have, and they express that feeling, and the expression comes out as absolute bitchiness. So because I can't express my feelings properly, you need to understand me and just get it. Remember when Rolo was telling everybody, like, as a man, she just wants a man who just gets it? That's because chicks can't explain their fucking emotions at all. Like, well, some can. This one can't. And yours, maybe she can, maybe she can't. I don't know. But if she can't, this will let you know. When she's acting bitchy, when you're acting super nice, it's because she's trying to get words out. And she just can't do it. Anyways, we're going to go back to Dr. Explain a Bitch here, and we'll see what she has to say.
I mean, it's like, don't rely on me for a list, take initiative, and then wait, don't do anything without running it by me first. And if you see the stitches to this video, everyone's talking about the guys can't do anything right aspect of this, but I actually wanted to womansplain a little bit on the real issue going on here. The whole root of this issue is that she wants his attention. This isn't about pancakes. This isn't about mowing the lawn. This is a continuous buildup of resentment for what she perceives as a lack of intimacy on his part. And a lot of that is normal, but she's saying that she's literally feeling a rage, and deep down that's because she's mad that he is not initiating intimacy on his own. And we have to examine that. I think one of the main issues we women are experiencing is that we're relying way too much on the men to be the initiators of the intimacy. And a lot of women don't realize this, but once men become the sole initiators, it starts to feel creepy, and they start to really hold back unless they see a really warm sign or bright beacon. Ladies, we can get after it too. We are entirely allowed to be the initiators. But for some reason, probably due to being sociologically conditioned into believing that we can't be the chasers or the pursuers, we refuse to rev that engine. So instead, when we want intimacy, we end up using the only language we were sociologically conditioned to using, which is task delegation. Next thing you know, we're very unintentionally turning affection into a task by saying things like, "Can you not make pancakes?" Ultimately, she was upset that when he came home, he did not join her in the space that she was in. So go join him in the space that he's in. If he goes into the kitchen to do dishes, just go in there and have coffee and chat with him while he's doing it. He would love that. Just like men are currently socially reconditioning themselves to be more present in parenthood or more emotionally vulnerable, we have to start socially conditioning ourselves to pursue a little bit more and to initiate a little bit more. Oh, and everyone's saying he can't mow the lawn because then she'll have to watch the child. Here's my husband with both his son and our daughter mowing the lawn just fine. Life hack. Men love when you simply exist around them. They're very simple creatures, and they love even more when you make the move.
I think I'm done with that chick. She's fucking killing me. Fucking killing me. Dude, what is with millennials, man? What's with millennials that we have to, like, we find out, like, how adults act, and we have to make it into some brand new invention. We call it, like, adulting. In this case, like, women aren't socially conditioned to be fucking complaining neurotic fucks. It's just hardware. And everybody had it, but most people back in the older generations when they had to grew up to learn how to express the things for what you want. It's like that 6-year-old that that's just like screaming. I remember this, actually, it's a very good story. My buddy had a girl, and they wanted to go outside in Winnipeg in the winter. If you don't know Winnipeg, it's cold as balls. And so he's tried to put the gloves on the kid, but the kid like doesn't like wool because it's scratchy. I don't want to wear the gloves. Takes off the gloves, goes outside, starts playing. Hands got cold. Starts screaming and crying because her hands are cold. But he didn't, like, I mean, he knew, but she couldn't say that. It's like, what's the matter? And she just, yeah. So he's like, oh, your hands are cold. Well, here, put on these gloves. And she didn't want to put on the gloves, but her hands are cold. And she's sitting there crying because the problem is not sorting itself out. This is modern millennial girlfriends in a nutshell. And I hate to say it, guys, but, like, I mean, she seems nice. The other one seems nice. They're thin. They're good looking. They take care of their appearances. They can clearly string a sentence together. Fine. They're probably great in bed. You don't have that kind of anger without getting there. But just cannot articulate their needs and or wants because they've never had the self-awareness to get there. To the point that she actually blames it on some societal brainwashing gaslighting. People aren't raised to that. You know what girls are raised to be? Taskmasters. I'm like, nobody trained you to be a control freak, Karen. You're saying your husband can't do it all? Look at mine. And that was the best at the end where she flexed like, hey, see my husband? Where I don't even have to watch the kids while he's mowing the lawn. He takes them out there with him. That's a good little boy right there. It's like, fuck you, man. I don't know. As a guy, just like, it's a skill I guess you have to develop now, is that if you're dating somebody who's somewhat of a child, and there's actually an old red pill thing about it. It's called, they call women the most responsible teenagers in the house. And the idea is you treat a girl as if she was like the most responsible babysitter you have in your house. You realize that women mature differently than men. Well, quicker, but they stop sooner. And so that once you're there, you can understand their emotional, I don't know, immaturity comparatively. And it helps you make some better decisions in life, which is great. Now, typical red pill space, the fucking White Claw Brigade, they end up saying, you know, women are children and women are just stunned cunts and all this shit. And then, because it's like, it makes better, you know, there's a real point that has some good actionable information. But, you know, if I say it this way, it removes all intellect from it, all practical information from it, but it sounds really good on a marketing thing. If I say chicks are just kids, everybody will clap and send me some fucking White Claw super chats. And that's the one disservice guys are doing. And this is when everybody's talking about how men and women are made to fight. Because guys get paid by pissing you off. Girls get frustrated by pissing you off. And in the end of it, it's just a bunch of guys who are left with like nothing but bad information around there. And everybody's wondering, like, why, Ryan, do you act like a giant angry prick on Twitter? And it's like, look who I'm surrounded by, dude. Like, look at all these people. Even this one. She means well. Look at her. And she's sitting here telling girls, hey, if you have a need, express it. If you want him to sit down, go sit with him. Or better yet, invite him in there. And then maybe things will get better. It's like, wow, thanks, life coach. the trick to living forever is not dying. It's like, Anyways, that's all I got. That's it for the TikToks. Hope you enjoyed. I don't think you'll enjoy. These are probably the most boring TikToks I ever had. There's some gems, but it's mostly me rambling about how stupid people are that make these entertaining. So I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you get a chance in the future to catch these ones live, I stop the thing and then I chill with the audience because they have some bangers out there we got to address, and I'll catch you guys later. All right. So here, we're going to stick around for a little bit. I finished the recordings. In the next couple weeks, they're going to be their own little TikToks, and I'm going to splice them together, make them somewhat interesting for new guys to the channel, because YouTube doesn't like the live streams, go figure. Not as much as they should. Now, for you... Ryan's the only single dad I trust. Thanks, sir. Let's get these super chats out of the way. I think I might have missed that first one, but I'm going to see if I can find it. Where'd it go? All right, New Horizons, $5. Fuck. All right, so the cuck article, heartfelt fuck you. Have a White Claw. Thank you very much, sir. Here, let's get that one. Let's get chat up here. Get in here with me, guys. Come on in. There's YouTube chat. There we go. Excellent. Excellent. Now, oh wait, there's a way I can do this. There was another live chat before where one of you guys specifically asked me about the cuck article. And I'm going to teach Jack Murphy how to... Here's how you Jack Murphy on a live stream without getting... What was the chick's name that he was ranting about? Elijah Schaefer or something? I can't remember the goddamn name. Supers. There it is. Turns out you can actually view your old super chats. Okay, so from RS, $5 super chat. One heartfelt article, please. You son of a bitch. Heartfelt. Fuck you. How dare you? Get your shit together. I'm trying to be a traditional conservative man, and I'm going to yell at that wee little girl to get it. And then Rusty Fuel, $4.99. See, that's good. Rusty Fuel with the $4.99 super chat, so I don't have to talk about the stupid cock article. How much is kitty litter worth? Well done, sir. Well done. How much is the kitty litter worth on the chore play chart? Oh, that's funny. There's probably, I bet you anything too, there's probably a lot of chicks that are very adamant about the kitty litter changing too. Because I was talking with Allie on this one, and it turns out there's a chemical in the kitty litter. Kitty litter and tuna apparently are like Prager poison. There's something in it that fucks them up and gives you flipper babies and that. So pregnant chicks always avoid tuna, and they avoid kitty litter unless they get like a fancy kitty litter. And I'm like, oh, it's fair enough. So that's good to know. And then Chase Robido, $4.99. Have another White Claw. Sydney Watson, that's the chick. That's the one. Meanwhile, cats can get addicted to tuna. They're killers, man. Oh, is it the cat piss that they're... Oh, maybe it is. Excuse me. Maybe it is the cat piss then. I don't know. I'm not good at cat litter shit. We have a cat, but I don't really care. Dr. Sydney. Oh, she's a doctor? What's she a doctor in? Like English? Is she one of them dating coach PhDs like Dr. Taylor Burrows or Shake Stone? Yeah, that's the newest thing. So I had a big announcement for you guys. I was going to... Oh, and one of you guys was asking about the Tim Pool thing, so we'll get to that. My big announcement, though, I'm going to be joining Islam. I'm going to join Islam, so all my previous indiscretions don't count. One of you guys asking before about the Tim Pool thing. All right, look, this is my favorite internet drama right now because it's the first one. And Adam, I don't know if you're still in the chat or not, but like, I'm sorry, man. I love how I'm in it, but completely uninvolved. Like a dispassionate third person. I like it. Oh, criminology and journalism. Oh, that's cool. Bull Rush, $5.56. Well done, sir. I clicked on this expecting an episode of Miami Vice. I feel cheated. I feel cheated, sir. Americans using the metric system to send me super chats. I thought you guys were supposed to send an Imperial, 30-odd 6 or something like that, aren't you? What was I saying with this one? Fuck, what were we just talking about? Oh, the Tim Pool thing. Yeah, so, like, Tim is Tim. I've never been a fan of Tim Pool. Like, I know he's big. It's not a jealousy thing. I just... Like, I remember back when he was a Vice reporter. Back when Vice was just about doing drugs in random countries. And I'm like, dude, this looks like a trust fund baby having fun, killing time in New York. Which he totally was. And then he started doing his podcast, and I tried watching an episode, and I noticed like right away, it's like, dude, Tim is surrounded by yes men. Like, he does not like anybody to disagree with him. He likes to be the smartest guy in the room. And it's got like real Anthony Johnson vibes, which is fine if you're like the smartest guy in the room, but he's just not. Like, a lot of his takes to me were kind of like, when it was things that I actually knew about, I was like, what the fuck? So when it was things I didn't know about, I kind of think like, does he know that as well? Which, and I'm not shitting on the guy for it. Anyways, the point of all this stuff is then I find out through Adam, mostly behind the scenes, a little bit from his live stream there, that he's basically like every other unattractive, like millennial guy, is that you throw a whiff in his face and he takes it, and he had a bunch of money and he went crazy, slept with a buddy's wife and all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, go get yours, Tim. It's kind of dirtbaggy, but whatever. You're the CEO of a multi-million follower VC thing. It's no worse. You know what's funny, Bart? Is exactly the same as, remember when Fresh and Fit had that Instagram chick sent the things where Walter was like, hey, you can come on my podcast if you give me a blowjob. I know what you're into. And I was just like, oh, dude, did we learn nothing from Pro Jared? Like, nothing? So Tim did that, and he's like, well, shit happens, and that was his response, and Adam's been kind of mad, and I was like, yeah, I get it. Like, I was, same thing with the Anthony Johnson stuff, I was in the middle of that, so I was a little bit raw on how everybody got treated. On this one, I can just sit back and enjoy. And now I just noticed, I just feel good, because, like, I kind of noticed, hey, something ain't right about that boy. And the more I find out, the more they're like, hey, you might have a point. But then he ended up retweeting me for one of my hot takes. And I'm like, oh, well, he just got me like 300 followers too. Like, I don't hate the guy, but he's not my cup of tea. But a lot of guys like that idea. Dude, the one thing that does annoy me about him is when he uses nuance. Like, the idea of having a conversation is what matters, not the actual conversation. When it comes to the culture war or whatever the fuck, right? I always hated that. See, this is what you're supposed to do. You guys are having a conversation and you're debating ideas in the marketplace of whatever. It's like, no, everybody's just going out of the way to be inoffensive. And they're so, like, the meta. We're so happy we're having a conversation. This is how problems get solved. It's like, you're not solving anything. You're just going through the performative duties of how people should get along. Like you learned what camaraderie was in a book, you know? I don't enjoy that. That, and when I watch the guests, like, I can already tell. I actually didn't catch any of the Adam episodes, which kind of sucked, but every time he was on and everybody be talking to him, you either agreed with him or you got kicked off the show eventually, or he would just shout you down, which is weird. I'm like, how do you get amogged by Tim Pool? But whatever. So yeah, it's not my cup of tea. It's not my thing. I don't find it's a good thing as far as discourse goes. I'm of the mindset that I would rather be offensive and give a sincere opinion than I am at making sure I cater my language to be algorithm friendly. It's just too it's too plastic covered couch vibey. Not my thing. Yeah. Well, no, Gov, that's the thing though. He's talking about his age since Jared came forward and did a decent rebuttal. Absolutely. The lesson from Pro Jared, I actually got a video on it. It wasn't that he was an evil misogynist. He did nothing wrong. Pro Jared did nothing wrong. He was famous and he was popular and a lot of girls were attracted to that. And the only thing you could fault him for was failing the Jumbotron rule, which if you haven't seen, I got an on-point video on that. It's a Royce thing. He says, if you see your text messages or your private communications blasted up on a Jumbotron in the middle of Super Bowl and you don't come out of it looking cool, then don't send it. Don't send it. Yeah, and there's his naked Sailor Moon shit where he had his like balls hanging out. I'm like, why would you do that? Don't put your dick on the internet. I don't know how I've explained this, especially if you're famous, because it will come back to bite you. But yeah, and then everybody's like, oh, he's like a rapist and whatever. His wife was like, she was cheating on him. It's like, dude, you were in an open relationship. You were banging dudes all day. You clearly don't give a fuck about that. But Jared's only problem was like by somewhat trying to appease the mob. It's like the mob doesn't give a shit. His whore wife was doing whorish things. He did whorish things because he got famous and popular and girls wanted to sleep with him. And then those same girls threw him under the bus for clout. There's a reason why celebrities have that. You ever see that Celebrity Hinge? Where it's like a special dating site just for celebs, for girls that are vetted for keeping their fucking mouth shut. Remember the one put Ben Affleck on blast on TikTok because of it? She got kicked off the fucking site. So that was the last celebrity she got to date. Sucks for her. Yeah, heart of the Me Too movement. And so that's what you learn from this stuff. Like, I don't care if you want to bang some guy's wife. It's not your wife. You didn't do it. If she put out for you, she'd have put out for somebody. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, man. Don't sleep where you work. Don't be sleeping with coworkers. If that's the only options you have for game, then you don't have game. And that's that thirsty shit where I talk about like red pill and blue pill cheating. It's like if you have to basically schlup the girl at work as like a form of validation, you're doing this whole thing wrong. Yeah, don't shit where you eat. Dude, I'm actually surprised that what's her name, Lydia or whatever. I'm surprised she didn't try to fucking Me Too, play the victim and sue him for a bunch of money. That would be full on out of like the Chicky playbook, but whatever. And then yeah, the Adam thing, getting treated like shit. Stole the dude's coat though. That's fucked. That's raw, man. If somebody stole my jacket, I'd be pissed. No wonder why he's been so angry about this. But anyways, check it out. I've encouraged him for the next Basis Fuck Monday to like review the hot takes of people on this thing, because some of the dog shit takes they have are fucking impressive. I actually kind of enjoy it. I might even watch more of them, but we'll see. If he'll have me, I might even go on there just to like fucking rant about beta males. But that's it. Anyway, so that's all I got planned for you guys. Like I said, I got book stuff to do. I actually am supposed to meet with the editor today, and we could talk about some last-minute stuff. Nick's almost finished. He actually gave me a compliment. I was supposed to be due last Thursday, but he goes, "This one's actually a much harder work. It's more analytical and a more dense read." And I was like, "Fuck, that was actually a compliment." Ryan Lee got a final okay cover to show us. Oh, yes, I do. Actually, you know what? Here's what you do. Here, if you want to get on the cover, I do them in the emails, the newsletters. So sign up to here. Here. I'll probably be sending one out in like an hour or so. It's this one here. You just sign up. The newsletter's free. It's mostly excerpts from the book, because if you're ever wondering like what the hell is frame and why do I need to care, I actually put excerpts out on there. I've been doing a bunch of them. I'll probably do a bunch more once the final manuscript is in, build some hype for the book. And I don't want people walking into this not knowing what they're getting like it's a piece of merch. I want it to actually be like a useful thing. And it's basically going over how to have frame, which is like such a difficult concept to explain to people. But I love Twitter because it gives me examples. Like if you follow me on Twitter, or if you have what the hell was the thing? The community tab. There was some dude ranting about shit to me, and Bullrush made fun of him for his coat that said Karen on it. The guy's like, and he started deering. Defend, excuse, explain, rationalize. So I love there's great examples of guys with no frame and thing they do. Basically all those times where you're treated like a bitch boils down to you not having frame. And so this is a great way to show how a lot of guys have basically solidified the concept in the red pill space. So it's good. Grammar Gamer, $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. First time catching you live. Great work, and always learn something new when watching your content. I fucking hope so, dude. I really do. Like I said, I know I come off as prickly sometimes, and a lot of this is just yelling at women and whatever, but I do my best to make sure in amidst the entertainment, I try to give you guys as much useful and actionable information as I can, that you can, hopefully, a small percentage of you, those that do put in the work, can actually build yourself a better life. I figure it's the least I can do. CSIT, will you make a special addiction book set with all 3 books? I haven't planned that far ahead yet. I just know that it was originally supposed to be a book on dread, or the idea of what do you do when you're in a dead bedroom and how do you get your dignity back and all that shit. It expanded because in order to get there, the first thing you have to do is develop frame. The book got so big, I'm basically split it into 2. So Praxeology Volume 1 is going to be frame, and then Volume 2 is going to be dread. And I don't know if I'll have a Volume 3. I can't think of another concept that would require its own book to explain. But I don't know, anything's possible. Anything's possible. Yeah, I love Bullrush. He's a walking BS detector. Dude, and that's like the skill of women with like shit tests. They're so good at it. And I realize it's not because they're like special, fancy, omnipotent creatures. It's just because if you're surrounded by guys' bullshit long enough, you just pick up on the patterns. Turns out that chick, everybody's been trying to fuck her since she was 13. Now that she's 26, she's got 13 years of like bullshit radar. It's like guys with gaydar. Like you can just tell. Anyways, Praxeology 1 + 2 + fuck files. I actually might be changing the cover to fuck files, because I'll explain it in the email. But the 2 titles I did, the one actually looks better as that, and then the one for frame is frame. So, anyways, I got nothing left. I gotta call Nick, get some editing stuff done. I think I've finally figured out, like, oh Jesus, think I finally figured out a system to get my hair looking all right on the stream, so that'll be good. I got nothing left for you. Anything I miss? No super chats, no likes. Yeah, give Tim Pool a like. I mean, he could use the help right now. Oh, okay. One more thing. The fucking dude, that Kanye thing. Oh my god, it's like all the marketing gimmicks were pulled. Like they did everything. They bought the private jet set to film it, and Kanye, you could tell he's just so tired of all this fucking hype. So he's just sitting there dressed in his like derelict hobo clothes with his phones like, take your fucking shot, man. I don't care. And everybody else is sitting there like, we're on the private jet. Find a Timcast. It's like, come on, dude. Really? Really? And you just so happen to buy the exact same jet with the exact same furniture layout as Tate when he's smoking his fucking cigar. And then who's he bringing in? He brings in Milo, like Trump boy himself. And who's that other guy? Nick Fuentes. I don't know him the best, but I'm like, dude, like 2 seconds looking at this guy and you're like, keep that guy the fuck away from me and my brand. I don't give a shit. Whatever he's got, I don't want it. Groipers or whatever. He can't even market it. Like, whatever. So they get on to Tim. I didn't watch it, but I just caught the clips. The one where like, yeah, they treated you really badly, Kanye. And he's like, who's they? And I'm like, oh, he went there. It's like 3 minutes in, isn't it? And he's already like, who's they? And Tim's like, the algorithm doesn't allow me to talk about them, so I can't. I mean different they than you. And Kanye, you know what? I'm fucking at it. Fuck you, man. Apparently, I didn't catch this part, but somebody said he gave out some lines like, you're just like Lex Friedman. I was like, out of all the insults, you're like that boring algorithm that fucking talked to me last week. Yeah, I don't care about the running for president thing. That's America. You guys deal with that stuff. I find it funny. I actually do sympathize with his whole getting fucked over, like the MK Ultra shit with his handler and the Canadian thing. I've looked into that. It's kind of legit, and I've been at the receiving end of like calculated government violence before. So I don't know if it's as much as he's been going through, but I definitely feel that vibe. And so I get it, and the place where he's coming from, it's going to be a very bitter and jaded, but not a lie, the position he's coming through. But yeah, Tim was like, he loves to be the guy that's like inoffensive. He's like if Milk was a political pundit. Literal milk toast. And then he gets on there and he's like, everybody has to agree with all my points and I get to run my mouth. And Kanye's like, I was a billionaire last week. Like, fuck you. And then I guess everybody else is like, shit, man, we're trying to salvage this clout thing. It's like a bunch of handlers trying to handle like a lion at the zoo, and the lion just having none of it. I'm not going to watch it, but I found the idea of it and the meta around it just fucking hilarious. So yeah. So anyways, that's it. I don't really have many more opinions or plans to talk about the Tim Pool thing past there. I do enjoy seeing it. It's like, dude, he had like a couple mil in venture capital. And he's got the comp. Like, he'll be fine. I'm just glad for once it's not fresh and fit with some stupid shit. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he'll make himself popular again and he'll call a couple more swats on himself to bring some more attention onto it. But that's it. I'll let you guys go. Enjoy yourselves. Hit the like. Hit subscribe. Rant about the Tik Toks again. I'll see you on the weekend. Maybe Ice-T will share a Tim Pool post like he did Fresh and Fit. Oh, I saw that. Fucking, what the hell? Ice-T? Really? Dude. I mean, whatever. I mean, it makes sense, though. Like, ice cream comes in chocolate and vanilla, so you got Tim Pool and Fresh and Fit, right? Yeah, whatever. Anyways, later, boys. Oh, wait, do I have, Oh, no, I don't on this one. All right, I'll catch you later.